Good evening, very good late evening to all you guys tuning in. It's the Evermore post-match reaction to Newcastle United spawnily getting themselves through to the next round of the FA Cup. I'm not going to sugarcoat this at all. I was biting my nails all through that game. I really did think that we were going to go out in that cup tie. We were expecting a big performance after the debacle against Arsenal. The manager insinuated there was going to be a performance, and we got that tonight, which was not good enough. Big shout out to the Blackburn fans. I feel sorry for Blackburn fans after that performance. They probably deserved a lot more of that game than they got in the end, but that is the nature of the FA Cup. Sometimes you have giant killings, and sometimes the Giants just manage to breeze through by the skin of their testicles. But we're going to get stuck right into this. Just a quick one, obviously, because it is late tonight, guys. We'll probably do a quick half an hour. We'll get stuck right in a minute. Just before I do, as I always say, if you are checking us out for the first time, good evening to you. Breathe. I hope you're calm. I hope you haven't smashed any furniture in the house after watching that shocking game tonight. But click subscribe if you fancy being part of this community. We're over 6,600 subs. We're closing in on 6,700 subs, which is great. Then pushing on to 7. So smash that button. Come and join us. Like the video as well, help the channel grow, and we're live tonight as well. There's so many comments before even we came on live, as you guys were all biting your nails watching that match. So we'll get stuck right into the comments as well. But in case you didn't realize what the lineup was this evening, this is a little gentle reminder for you. So Joe Willett came into the starting lineup, which we weren't surprised about. Again, we had a debate. Everyone had a debate. Was it going to be Longstaff or Louis Miley that dropped out? I thought personally Longstaff should have dropped out because I don't think he's offering a great deal to the team. I don't know what's going on with him. He's lost form, he's injured or whatever it is, but it was Louis Miley that dropped out of the team. Dan Burn came back in. Eddie Howe was probably thrilled to make that change, and Tino dropped to the bench. And Dubravka came back in as well for Loris Karius, which a lot of us thought was a bit harsh, but my God, he proved his starting position more than worth in the evening's events. But going into the game, you thought yourself, right, they're 16th in the Championship, Blackburn. They've got a new manager in John Eustace, so I think, to be fair, was really unlucky to get sacked from Birmingham. I said that in the preview as well. And you thought yourself, right, come on, Newcastle. Arsenal was shocking, probably one of the worst performances we've ever seen under Eddie Howe. Put it right. You got the chance to put it right. Let's get it done. And they didn't do it. They were poor. They were piss poor, as a matter of fact, from beginning to end of that game and extra time as well. They were dreadful. Misplaced passes, lack of positional sense, zero tackling going on. I don't know what's happening with Sean Longstaff's game. He doesn't want to tackle, but every time he gets tackled, he thinks he should get a free kick, even if it's a fair tackle. There was a lot of crunching tackles put in by Blackburn and like proper FA Cup tackles, and Sean Longstaff was wanting a free kick. Sorry, mate, that ain't going to happen. We were just dreadful. Nobody was on their game at all, really. Isak, again, looked isolated up front. A couple of nice little touches and stuff like that, but nothing of any real note. He was living on scraps as well. He's already fucking skinny. Give him something to eat, for fuck's sake. The poor lad's gasping for a good ball. He didn't get any good balls tonight at all, even from Bruno, who was poor, I think, most of the game. The back four again, even though Botman came out. To be fair, Lascelles, until the howler for the goal, which I'll get into, I thought Lascelles actually had an all right game. This is a Lascelles type of game. It's an FA Cup game. It's rough and tumble. It's, backs to the wall. It's throwing yourself in front of the ball. These are the kind of games that Lascelles thrives in. Not Botman, especially when he's off form. Burn was all right, I suppose. He didn't get caught. There wasn't a lot of pace on the pitch to really get, apart from one player in there, Schmodix, who was fantastic, by the way, for Blackburn. He was giving me Craig Bellamy vibes. He really was. Why didn't we sign him in January for the third striker? Fuck me, he would have done a job. But Callum Wilson got injured every time the wind blew. But yeah, so Blackburn worked hard. They grafted hard. It was a typical Championship against Premiership FA Cup tie. That they raised their game. They really wanted it, but we allowed them to look good. We allowed them to look like that game was theirs for the taking because we were just so poor. Such negative play. Couple of passes to the edge of the box and then static, no movement, turn back, pass back, ended up back at Dubravka half the time. And, this is a team that was playing Champions League football this season. This is a team that beat Paris Saint-Germain 4-1 at St James's Park, and we can't break down Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park. Something has gone seriously wrong with this team, whether it's the manager or the players. But I don't buy this drinking the Kool-Aid bollocks that everything's all rosy in the garden when you're putting in performances like Arsenal the weekend, and then that's followed up by that where there's no reaction whatsoever. Eddie Howe looked like somebody shitting his fucking morning coffee at the end of the game, even though we won and went through. And that tells you everything you need to know. He knows he's under pressure. I saw some right fucking flaky bollocks from so-called journalists on social media with their blue ticks that said Eddie Howe's under zero pressure. I tell you what, Sunshine, go and buy yourself a ticket and fly to the real fucking world. Every football manager is under pressure, especially Eddie Howe, when we're turning in turgid performances like that, regardless of getting through the FA Cup. We should have battered that team. They're 16th in the Championship. They ain't great. They've got one or two players who are half decent. Most of them are fucking loans from Brighton and Liverpool. We should have steamrolled them. We had experienced international players and they didn't turn up tonight. They were piss poor. And one man is responsible for Newcastle United getting through in that game, and that is Martin Dubravka, who was fucking sensational. In the game, he made about 8 saves. Schmodix for them was absolutely fantastic. His movement, his ability, finding space, in between what must be said a pretty pedestrian back four. But every time he got close to the goal, Dubravka was there, big, strong, off the line, quick. I don't know what he's been ill with, but Jesus Christ, I hope he's ill for the rest of the season because he looked absolutely class. He looked back to the Dubravka that started against Manchester United in his debut, which, my God, we needed him tonight. So I'll take a little breath and we'll just check out some of your comments, guys. Loads of them are flying. And yeah, I agree with Sean. Dubravka's just saved somebody's job. People might say that's not the case, like these little funny journalists that are saying he's not under any pressure. Bullshit. If we went out tonight, I would wonder what would happen to Eddie Howe with the management, the ownership of the club. Yeah, we're going to get Man City away next. We battered Luton 6-2 tonight. And was it Haaland only got 5? Christ. George is saying he thinks he's fucked his computer up. I hope it was a game you're watching, George, and not the hub, mate. Ian saying throw Lascelles out in the morning, make him walk home. Do you know what? I thought Lascelles was all right until the howler, but how a professional footballer can misjudge a header like that is beyond me. Honestly, I've played pub team football on a Sunday morning. I played Saturday morning football where it's slightly higher standard, but Sunday morning where your centre-half's got back in at 2 a.m, he still stinks of drink from the night before. His kebab sitting next to his boot bag, and he's a better defender than that. And that is dreadful from Jamal Lascelles. He should hang his fucking head in shame. He really should. All of those lot owe Martin Dubravka a fucking pint or a coffee at the training ground or something, because he's just saved all of their arses. Funny enough, Mark was a goalkeeper when we were kids in school, and he saved everybody's arses in penalty shootouts on more than one occasion. So he knows exactly what Martin Dubravka is probably going through right now in that dressing room. And my God, those players owe him a massive favour, as does Eddie Howe. Yeah, you're right, Dean. Dubravka was absolutely immaculate. David saying, even Chris squeaky arse time during the game. Oh, no doubt about it, mate. No doubt about it. I don't think we deserved it. If we went out in that game, David, we totally have nothing to argue about. If Schmodix bashes one in the back of the net, a minute from the 30th minute of extra time, you've got to hold your hands up and say, Blackburn deserve it more. They've fought harder. They've showed more willing, more passion, more quality when they had the ball, and they deserved the win. But thankfully, it went to pens, and Dubravka was on top of his game, which is absolutely superb, really. Eddie Howe's hamstring, he's pulled that for sure. Great name. I'm not happy at all with the performance, but Martin Dubravka, absolutely. And Dean says, very scary, but well done, Dubs. Brilliant effort. It really was. Dubravka's come in for some serious criticism by this channel, by everybody else as well. But tonight, he was sensational, and he deserves all the plaudits that he gets. I think it was absolutely class. Yeah, just a comment there from Decker. Yeah, so as the game went on, obviously, we'll talk about the goals, but the extra time sitters, you're right, Decker, were fucking dreadful. I'll get into that. I mean, how you missed that? Again, going back to the pub team analogy, your pub team striker puts that away. Why is Sean Longstaff falling on his arse to take that shot? Get your head over the ball. They teach you that in first school, and just fucking rifle in the back of the net, mate. What are you doing? Stop pissing around. You're trying to get your shot and get your images for the fucking newspaper or something. Just fucking smash it in the back of the net. But rewind a little bit. So, we're huffing and puffing. We're not breaking the house down. The Blackburn keeper, I thought was brilliant, was a Pears. I thought he was excellent as well. A bit of a shit house as well. He was winding Miggy up as well when he came on, which was quite good. I saw Miggy tell the fuck off. So that's about as much English as Miggy knows. And that's probably about as much as he needs, really. He could probably host one of our shows if he knows how to swear. But yeah, so the goal comes with a bit of quality from Miggy. Again, with Miggy Almiron, it's like finger in the air, which Miggy Almiron shows up. Is it the headless chicken who looks at his feet and kind of cross the ball? Or for once every 6 games and go, oh, I'll just put that in the middle of the box on the 6-yard box or somebody to tap it in. That's exactly what he did, thankfully. So Miggy turned up tonight, which was good. And he put it over. And great finish by Anthony Gordon. I mean, Anthony Gordon had a couple of chances where he should have scored. He went one-on-one briefly before that and didn't finish the chance because he's not really a centre forward. But that was a great bit of play. He pulled out into the centre of the box, in the 6-yard box. I think he just stroked in the back of the net. And we're 1-0 up, and you're thinking, right, come on, Newcastle. Now we're 1-0 up. Let's get control of this game. Let's just do something about it, And then obviously we'll let them back into the game. The howler from Lascelles, how he misjudges the header again, it's absolutely beyond me. It really, really is. The ball comes across, and to be fair, the lad they brought on as a sub hits it so sweet. I think it's on a half volley, drills it, and it's a world-class stop from Dubravka. He hits it onto the bar, palms it onto the bar. The reflexes are phenomenal. They really are. And then it falls to, unfortunately for us, the quickest player on the park in terms of Schmolix, in terms of his thinking, his desire to get to the ball, and he just puts it in the back of the net, and we're 1-1, and you're thinking, fuck me dead, how has this happened? And then we have what chances, as I think Decker said there. Gordon has a chance, Longstaff has a chance, and then you've got Bruno has a great chance in the second half of extra time. It's pretty much an open goal, and he puts it right into the middle where Wharton just gets in front and blocks the chance, and you're just thinking, Jesus Christ, this is going to pens, and we're going to lose. That's what most of us are thinking. But thankfully, we all know kind of how it went when it went to penalties. But I mean, just going back to some of your comments there, guys, as well. Ian saying, put Burnley, Isaac Barnes in it too. Dreadful. I mean, Harvey Barnes. I've been such a fan of Harvey Barnes since he's come back. The goal against Luton and. Even against Arsenal with Joe Willock's goal, he starts that move. And tonight, he looked so off the pace. That chance where I think it's when I think Bruno takes the shot. So Bruno takes a shot and it hits Warden, and it falls to Barnes at the back stick. And I'm just thinking, goal. The kid can finish. That's a goal. And he just can't get his feet straight, and he puts it wide of the near post. And you're thinking, how have you done that? It's harder to do that than it is to get it in the back of the fucking net. Just again, head over the ball. Just put your foot through it. The problem is, I think, with players these days, they try to overcomplicate things. Certainly in defence, that's how people keep getting caught out, because they're overplaying the ball, they're inviting pressure. That's what happened at Arsenal. When Arsenal were pressing so high, we should just be knocking balls over the top. Danny Murphy, as much as he's a boring bastard, said tonight, Newcastle need to be a bit braver, knock some balls in behind and get people to run into them. That's what Isaac was gasping for. Isaac was gasping for a ball just popped over the top, a little bit of bounce, and then he could have just got a little bit of pace on it and tucked inside, and they didn't give him that pass. I think Murphy had that pass a couple of times and he made the wrong decision as well. Murphy was poor tonight as well. I thought I was disappointed in Murphy. Started the game and he just looked shit again. No football intelligence, bad pass and bad decisions. And I don't understand what's happened there. Those players Eddie Howe's put faith in to put that right from Arsenal. And yes, the result is there. So you can say the result's there. And we've got through the next round of the FA Cup, and that's great and everything else. Yeah, brilliant. But we need to sort our form out fucking sharpish, because if we get a decent team in the next round, we're out if we play like that, because we were shit. There's not one part of that game at all that I was impressed with, apart from the goalkeeper and his saves in the penalty shootout. Simon saying turgid is the word, great determination. Yes, and we got through. I think Howe is golden with the owners, but he deserves the criticism. Very messy work from Bruno tonight. I hope the result galvanises. But we thought Sunderland would do that, Simon, and it's not happened. As William says there, it's just not good enough. It isn't good enough, and you're allowed to say that. You're certainly allowed to say that on our channel. This is a safe place, to talk about how disappointed you are in the team, how disappointed you are that Eddie Howe's substitutions. I mean, I did see something funny actually on Twitter. I think it was Kendall, who's been on the channel before. Love Kendall, she's a great girl, and she tweeted that Elliot Anderson literally broke his back and has got more chance of getting on than Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall must just be. He might as well have just went and got a coffee and a fucking pie or something from the kiosk, because he's never going to get on the pitch. So I do feel a bit sorry for Lewis Hall, but looking at the bench, you would think at least there was options there. But just even the guys who come on didn't really do it. I mean, Louis Miley had some nice touches. Again, trying to find some space, and, got in a good few positions. But again, just no interest in taking Sean off. And Sean was really poor yet again tonight. Yet again, I think Graham said that as well. He's not having Sean. He said Longstaff can't tackle, can't pass, falls over all the time, can't score, but still gets his game. Is Eddie Howe banging his girlfriend? I don't know. I think she's probably quite pretty, Longstaff's girlfriend, I'd imagine anyway. But I'm sure Mrs. Howe is a looker as well. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's a good question to put them if we ever get them on the channel. But yeah, again with Longstaff, I don't understand what's happened to the lad, because he gets them 2 goals against Luton, and you think, all right, okay, he's maybe learned how to shoot, he's learned how to get in the position because he gets in great positions. You got to give him that, but he just doesn't finish. And you think that's what you need to work on, Sean. And then he gets the 2 goals against Luton. You think, all right, he's turned a corner now, he can finish. And then he just offers you nothing in the next few games. And it's not as if we don't have players that can come in and play in his position. I felt so sorry for Louis Miley tonight. I'm a big fan of Louis Miley. Yes, he does need a bit of a rest, but to sub the lad on and then sub him off for Elliot Anderson, I thought was poor. I know you may be keeping Longstaff as a more of a senior player in case it goes to pens, which it did, which he didn't take a pen. So it didn't really matter. And obviously Anderson's pen was brilliant. We had the comments on there just as we were about to come on live. Anderson takes that pen with so much aplomb. But if you watch Elliot Anderson as well, I mean, even if you're talking about Miley and Longstaff, Elliot Anderson's on the pitch, and he's on the pitch for a matter of not even a minute, and he smashes into a player in a tackle and puts him on his arse. And I'm thinking that's what we're missing right there without Joe Linton, that kind of physicality. So if Elliot can get himself up to speed and get back in and around this squad, Elliot Anderson's got a good shout getting into that midfield three for me. And if you're talking about everybody fit and raring to go, you may be looking at Bruno, Willock, and Anderson, but Willock was poor tonight. I thought he lost the ball a lot. I think he overran the ball. He was maybe trying to do a little bit too much, but I'm not sure this was the game for Willock tonight. Maybe Wolves might be a better game for Willock. He might have a bit more space and a bit more time on the ball, but I thought he was poor tonight. I really, really do. Yeah, Decker was loving Mickey's profanity. It's great to see Mickey swear. If anyone can get Mickey to stop smiling and swear, it was definitely that Blackburn goalkeeper. He was a real shithouse. We've got Pages and Port and Anthony Gordon should be on corner duty from now on, flat and hard into the box. I did prefer his corners to Bruno's that were just these big fucking looping 19 meter high corners for Dan Burnley to win. I just thought, I'm not really sure about that. Again, I agree with Danny Murphy. What's wrong with me? My God. A2 says that was absolutely gruesome stuff. It really, really was. It was grim. It was a grim watch. It really, really was. Colin says, Chris, I wouldn't shed a tear if Longstaff goes in the summer. It's every game now he has howlers. It does appear to be a reoccurring trend, but Eddie doesn't want to drop him. He obviously has faith in Sean. And listen, there's two different sides of Sean, right? Sean as a lad, he seems like a lovely lad. You saw him interviewed on TNT the other day with the memories, the pictures of him and Matty and all that. He seems like an absolutely top kid. He really, really does. He's a local lad. He's from the community I live in as well. He's a really, really sound kid, right? But he's off form. He's massively off form at the minute, and it's affecting games. He's not winning challenges. He's not creating in the midfield. And now Willock's back, and now Anderson's back, and Miley's there chipping away. You've got options there, Eddie. But this is what could really be the end of Eddie Howe in terms of that stubbornness and that inability to look and go, do you know what? I need to be honest here with myself and that player that he's not putting in a good enough shift, and I'm going to take him off. And he just leaves it too long for me. Luckily tonight we didn't lose that game. We weren't behind in that game. We weren't chasing that game in terms of making a decision like we have done against Luton and other people like that as well, where he leaves it too late to take off Burn, getting skinned from pace. And he just needs to be more ruthless and quicker and more determined. I don't know whether is it the issue with him and Tyndall? Is it because he has to check what Tyndall thinks and Tyndall has to check what he thinks before they make the decision? And that's why it takes so long to do something. I don't know, but it needs to be quicker. It really, really does. Ray Guest is saying, what a match. Big up the tune. Great match for the neutral, Ray, but dreadful for the Newcastle fans, mate. We're all just absolutely, even Shearer was devastated in the studio. You could hear him. Antagonizing, that was a hard watch. Dubs stepped up. He really did. He really did antagonize. I thought he was excellent today. I thought he was, he was everything that we wanted him to be. He really, really was. The Dubravka of old. Gooba saying that Shimonovich really stood out from Blackburn. Class performance. I thought he was mint. He reminded me of Bellamy, like I say, just that like wasp at a picnic, just buzzing around, getting on everybody's tits. But he was good. And then he took his goal well, and he got in behind for a good few chances as well. Could you be critical of his finishing? Sometimes, I suppose, but he's got 18 goals in the Championship, so the lad knows where the onion bag is. Honestly, I'd have no problem getting him in the summer. If you get him for a decent deal, he could be the third choice striker. Why not? We've got Billy in the comments. I'm sure Billy's a hoarse voice after being on commentary duty, probably, on the Toon Review tonight. Good to see you, Billy. OJ Simpson ball tonight, Chris. Got away with murder, 100%. I did see somebody, I think it was Mouth of the Tyne, said it was a whiff of Bruce ball earlier on. So, I don't disagree. disagree with that sentiment either. Kev Bell is saying our team looks so short of confidence. Massively agree with that, mate. So plug it until the end. The win on pens is worth taking heart from. That's not a ridiculous comment, mate. That's a fair comment. It shows a bit of spirit. But, it's a lottery, isn't it? Penalties, it's like throwing shit in the wall and seeing what sticks, really. It's cat and mouse against you and the keeper, and luckily for us, our keeper was a cat tonight, and, he was able to snuff them out. And another day might not have been, we could have been on out our arse. Lewis Hall, are you there? Says Toonami. I don't know where that poor lad is. If I was him, I'd be on the blow at my agent trying to get out of this deal and get back to Chelsea and just try and find another club. Fuck off to Palace or Brighton or something like that, and just have a career, lad, because it doesn't look like Eddie Howe wants you. And if Eddie Howe doesn't want him, just be honest and say to the kid you don't want him and fucking get out the deal, and sort it out. Dan is saying that keeper was extraordinary. He was great. I thought he was an excellent keeper, to be fair. And he had that shit housery bit about, which I love about keepers. Kev's saying if Shearer's worried, then that is a massive worry. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Shearer, take note, Jamie Carragher and Jamie Redknapp. Alan Shearer was incredibly impartial in terms of talking about the two teams tonight. He played for both of them. Won a Premier League with Blackburn, and he was very scathing of Newcastle, very scathing, and rightly so. Rightly so, because we were shit tonight. We really, really were. As Paul says, their performance was crap. But that's the disappointment, isn't it, Paul? That Eddie Howe, all the talk before this game was, where's the performance? What we're going to get? The lads are going to stand up and show you that Arsenal was a one-off. Eddie Howe even said that's a one-off performance for me. We haven't been that bad this season, and they then proceed to possibly play worse in the next game in the FA Cup, which is such a big game. And thankfully, our goalkeepers got us out of jail, and we managed to get through to the next round of the FA Cup. Now, if the lads can take the confidence from getting through, being shit and getting through, and turn up against Wolves at the weekend and put in a good performance and get us back in the running for, 7th position in the league, because Champions League is long gone. We ain't getting in there, no chance. Not with the form that we're showing. But if we can get in the top 7, top 8, then and the cup run is still there, then why not? This could be a bit of a galvanizing moment, but we need to be playing a lot better than that. And Eddie Howe needs to start looking at the tactics, and he has to start thinking, what's going wrong? How can I change it? How can I stop this thing happening? As Decker says there, the mental, the whole thing, I can't weigh Eddie's choices sometimes. The whole thing, either Hall's not good enough, mate, or he's an Ashworth signing, one of the two. But if you don't want the lad, then just get rid. Just send him back to Chelsea, get rid. Cancel the deal, do whatever you need to do, back out of it, and then off you go. But I think it's contractually obliged now for that deal to happen. But he's given the kid no game time whatsoever. I tell you what might end up happening, and I don't think Eddie Howe will lose his job this season, regardless of where we finish. If we finish 10th or 12th and go out of the cup in the next round, I don't think he'll lose his job. But depending on how the season goes, and I really hope it doesn't go this way for it's worth, because I like Eddie Howe, but if it all goes to shit in the palm of his hand and we end up having a horrendous end of the season, he might be out in the summer. Wouldn't it be funny if a new manager came in and played Lewis Hall and he was fucking brilliant at left back? Wouldn't that be interesting, eh? Comment there from Michael saying, but how are the lads, Geordie's forever? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. How are the lads indeed? And Antagonist says, on a positive note, we are through the quarters. It could be worse. Damn right, mate. Damn right. But I'm just being real about it, mate. I'm just being real. We were just awful, but we still got through. So that is a positive, no doubt at all. That is a positive. What we got here, just looking down a few of the comments there, guys. Loads of you in the comments tonight. Really appreciate that, especially up so late as well. Parallax View saying garbage performance. That's as far as we get in this competition. Again, some of you might think that's negative, but I think that's. I just think that's an honest view, to be honest with you. I'll go to you. Comment. I've got to pull this up. I will pull it up, Max. I don't agree with what you're saying, mate, but he's saying Longstaff physical output is tremendous. All his work goes unnoticed. Is that because none of it comes off, mate? That's probably why. The balance is a 4-3-3 is key, and without him, we would be so. We're already open, mate. We're as open as Sharon Stone's legs, mate. We're open more than a fucking all-night McDonald's. That midfield is been played through probably most of the season when Shaw Longstaff's been in it, Max. So listen, he's a top lad. And he runs his nuts off. But at the minute, he's not doing what you think he is, mate. But hey, listen, football's about opinions, mate. You got yours, and I've got mine. But I don't agree with that one, mate. If I'm honest with you, Dean is saying wouldn't have got extra time without Dubs. Absolutely, I think Mark clocked up 8 or 9 saves. Dubs made, I think. And Ray, yeah, totally agree on that. Blackburn played fantastic tonight, but we did get the result. And Barnes was shite. Yeah, I mean, Barnes is having the worst first season with the club ever, really, isn't he? His toes made of fucking paper mache. And then he comes on, scores a goal, and you think, oh, yeah, he's back, and then all of a sudden, tonight he has another mare as well, to be fair. But I'll tell you, I hope he finishes the season strong, because I do like him. I think he's a decent player. James is saying, great win for the Toon. We was way off it again, becoming a trend, which needs to be fixed sharpish. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, mate. Against better teams, that won't happen, regardless of how good Dubravka is. I do agree with you, Graham. Dubravka was an absolute star. Dude, obviously, Eddie's love child burning longer. Absolutely. Now, to be fair, I mean, they're both local lads and they're top lads, aren't they? But, being a top lad doesn't mean you walk into the team, to be honest with you. Andy Ford saying, missing the beginning. I was finishing off my Stella in the logo, top man, and berating the resident Macca. That is a great night. I thought we were appalling tonight, but the joy when Dub said the time was worth it. Yeah, that's the thing. Listen, you can be shit and win the game and get through, and that's all that matters, really. And that's all that matters tonight. We're through to the next round of the FA Cup, and we never used to get this far in the FA Cup, so we've got to celebrate that, I suppose. I agree, Page and Pause. He's a big fan of Barnes as well, but a rough night and a shit pen. I even forgot about a shit pen for a minute, mate. He just reminded me there. I just think we celebrate the result, but you can be critical of the performance. And I think most fans will be critical of that performance just because it really was not good at all. As Jack so succinctly puts, that was shite. And I think that's pretty much what everybody's going to be saying, I think, about the performance. Now, we do maybe have time to get ourselves right in terms of sort our form out, sort our issues out. So by the time we do get to the next round of the FA Cup, we might be back on form with players who are maybe a bit fitter, a bit sharp. I mean, Isaac's rusty. You can hear his knees creaking. There's some lovely little play tonight where I think he megged the lad and he danced around a couple. I was getting Everton vibes again, and you're thinking, ooh, it's there. It's bubbling behind the surface, but he's not fit yet. So, he's had more minutes in his legs, Isaac, tonight. So hopefully that'll benefit him against Wolves at the weekend. If he can get himself another goal and get back on that kind of goal trail again, we'll start to see the best of Alexander Isak. Oh my God, Ross, yeah, it's just reminded me of that one as well. What the fuck was Fabian Schär doing with that one? The ball went over his head and he put his hand up and he slapped it, and the ref didn't see it. And thank Christ VAR wasn't on tonight, because I think the handball, and then Mark rightly said, if you go back and look at the Dubravka's save, he's off his line when he makes the save. So if there had been VAR, we might not be sitting here talking about getting through to the next round. Dean says City in the next round. You just know it's coming, don't you? I'm just going to prepare for City, and then if we get anybody else, I'll be quite happy, to be fair. NUFC Ed's forward saying, I tell you what, Almiron was good alongside Newcastle #1, but Longstaff and Sharon Barnes horrendous. Yeah, Miggy was good tonight. Miggy was better. He grafted. When he come off against Arsenal, he looked pissed off, and I like that about Miggy being pissed off, because he knew he had a bad game. And when he come on tonight, he looked like the Miggy who just wanted to run around and try and make stuff happen, and that's good, and that's what we want from Miggy. He doesn't have the quality, but he has the graft and the desire to run at people, and he did a lot of that when he come on. Obviously, he creates the goal, so you got to say he's done well there. Paul is saying not good. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all, Paul. I just don't think it was very, very good. Hyperbole or hyperbole. Me and Mark always talk about it as a hyperbole or hyperbole. If we can't beat a championship team in 90 minutes, what chance do we have against Wolves? That is a worry, because I think Wolves have been really good under Gary O'Neill, and that's not going to be a foregone conclusion. The lads have really got to turn up against Wolves at the weekend. We will do a preview, guys, but let us know in the comments before we sign off tonight. Is Longstaff out of your team for Wolves? He's out of my team. If Anderson's fit enough to start, or Willock's fit enough to start, or Miley, I'm putting either one of them three in ahead of Sean, because he needs dropped. He needs a bit of a rattle, I think, by the manager, just to say you need to up your game, Sean, because when he's on his game, he can be a very useful player, as we were saying there before. For the previous comment, he can be a very good player, Sean Longstaff, a very vital player to the team. A lot of his work does go unnoticed when he's on form, but he's woefully off form at the minute, woefully off form. And he needs to sort himself out. He really, really does. We've got KK Cheer. I can't see why Richie and Joe White get a game ahead of Hall. That's one of them questions that I'd love the manager to answer. no one seems to be able to put it to him. He doesn't seem to give an answer either. Good to see you, Splat 1000 in the comments as well. Yes, I said it's like watching Stoke under Tony Pulis. It seemed that way tonight, didn't it? It's, if you think about the previous Newcastle managers who've been run out of town for bad performances like Allardyce and Pardew and Bruce and Carver, it could have been one of them tonight, couldn't it? It really, really could. I thought at one point Dan Burn was going to go up front. That would have just sealed the deal of how shit that game was tonight. But yeah, as Jamska says, it does make a difference having more options from the bench. It really does. I mean, they didn't have a massive impact. I was quite impressed with Elliot Anderson when he come on. I thought Louis Miley had some good touches. Maybe understand taking him off if he's not great on pens, and Ellie doesn't want to put him through that pressure at such a young age. I kind of get that, but then bring Elliot Anderson on before Louis Miley, if that's what you're going to do. If Anderson's got a goal in him, I mean, the only thing about not bringing Anderson on sooner to me was maybe they were just worried how his back was going to hold up in that kind of environment, that rough, tackles flying around, proper FA Cup, blood and thunder kind of game, and maybe he's thinking, shit, I don't want Anderson to get injured before he's even got back properly. But Elliot Anderson has got a goal in him, and I was surprised he didn't come on a bit earlier, to be honest with you. He maybe could have got us the goal in extra time and saved the penalties, but thank God Dubravka was obviously on form that got us through. Yeah, Sean's saying that performance was Bruce level. Okay, another comment from Paul saying, stating the obvious, but we were absolutely shite tonight. No, there's nothing wrong with stating the obvious here, Paul. We love a bit of obvious. What has gone wrong? We're very pale, shadow of last season. Eddie looks absolutely haunted, and he must be skating on very thin ice. Yeah, going back to what we were saying earlier on, these people who want to kid themselves on that he's not under any pressure is utter fucking bullshit. It really, really is. Every football manager's under pressure, whether you sit at the top of the table, whether you're Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. You're under pressure. You're always under pressure because it's a results business. And if results start to tail off, and performances start to tail off, you're under pressure. You're under pressure by your owners. You're under pressure by your fans, even the players sometimes. Look at when the players down tools and get managers out of a job. So all these fucking sugar puff fairies who think that, Eddie Howe wasn't under any pressure because he got us to the Champions League, then you're full of shit. You can't call yourself a journalist, in my opinion, because you're not looking at things properly. You're looking at them through blinkers. Eddie Howe's done an unbelievable job for Newcastle. Eddie Howe has been the best Newcastle United manager since Bobby Robson, in my opinion, in most people's opinions, right? And he deserves the credit that he gets. But it doesn't mean he's infallible or he's beyond criticism. And you can't say that was shit. Why are you not playing him? Why are you sticking with the same tactics that aren't working? To me, you're allowed to do that as a football fan. It's your God-given right. People don't have to agree with you. It's absolutely fine. You can have a football debate. Don't rip each other's necks out, but you're okay to criticize players and managers because that's your right as a football fan. This new crazy football world of, if you criticize the team, you're a Mackham or you don't support them is utter fucking nonsense. It really is. And the people who say it just have turds floating around in their vocal cords, in my opinion. So fuck them. Get your head out your arse and come and join the real world. Sorry, I've been a bit ranty there for this time of night. I'm tired, obviously. Michael saying, honestly believe that Eddie was the Messiah after last season. What the fuck is going on? Longstaff, Burn, Miggy Wilson out. Obvious tactics, 4-2-3-1. But what do I know? The cancer is spreading. What worries me a bit when the players aren't responding to what he wants them to do and he's not getting that level of performance out of them. So that is a concern. Never mind Dubravka pulling us out of the shit. If the players don't step up in the remaining games and they keep putting in performances like that, it makes you wonder, have they become a bit complacent under the manager? Do you need somebody to come and give them a kick up the arse or whatever? I don't know. But let's just hope Eddie can finish the season strong. I mean, I've always said it and I'll keep saying it. If we win the FA Cup, that he'll go down as one of the most successful Newcastle managers of the modern era because he won a trophy. They said on the TV, the last time Newcastle won a trophy, I don't think man had landed on the fucking moon yet. So that tells you how far away it was. Do you know what I mean? So if Eddie Howe can win a trophy, then he's obviously the man. Stop watching the clowns on Talk Show. Every week they bash Newcastle. I've met Simon. He's a clown. He's almost, they've assigned to slag Newcastle. Well, they know they're going to get bites, Marcus. That's why they do it. And weirdly enough, we do the rants. I do my rants. I find it quite cathartic personally. But people say, why are you biting? Why are you biting? I just think you have to offer an opinion. You have to offer a rebuttal to somebody's nonsensical statement about something, especially when they haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Another comment there from Joe Eniola. How won't change formation, doesn't like change of personnel. His own worst enemy, methinks. He's to be forced into changes. I think you're right. He's very set in his ways. Sometimes as a manager, that helps you, and sometimes it hangs you. So Eddie's on the periphery at the minute. I think he's kind of in the middle. He knows that some of these decisions are going to put him under pressure, which is why that game was huge from tonight. You saw his face. It was a huge result for Eddie Howe tonight. But there was mistakes in there again tonight. People that he put trust in, let him down to put in shit performances. If you want to show that manager and these fans, and we're all these fans, whether you're in the ground or you're watching the TV or wherever you are in the world, they need to show you that they're willing to put in the effort to make the wrongs right. That was at the weekend, and tonight they didn't show that, and the keepers pulled them out the shit, and that's the top and bottom of it. Outside of the keeper and Anthony Gordon, not many of them can really hold the hand up and say, we did a good job. And Sandy saying, hey, Chris, I know Blackburn were the underdogs. Danny Murphy's a former player, but glad to see the biased commentary carries over the BBC as well. Danny Murphy was horrendous. He was, but the terrestrial tellies always want a giant killing and somebody that's never been different, whether they played for them or not. It's never been different. So I'm not surprised by that, unfortunately. Bruno's penalty was quality. The best penalty was Fabian Schär's for me. Honestly, it was as cool as the man himself. What a penalty! And I loved it when Danny Murphy said, "Oh, I prefer to smash him down the middle." Personally, you're like, "Yeah, that's why he's Fabian Schär, and that's why you're Danny Murphy." Mate, to be fair, it was a great penalty. Sensible is saying either Eddie has lost the plot or the squad aren't listening to him anymore. That's the question. Sensible, very good question. Same happened at Bournemouth. After overperforming but working the squad into the ground. There is a lot of similarities, isn't there, between Bournemouth and Newcastle in terms of Eddie Howe's managerial tenure. But I'd like to think he's progressing there because he went all around the world and learned off all these different coaches. But I think at the minute he's at a crossroads, Eddie Howe. I think if he learns from what's going wrong this season, he could go on and be one of the best managers the Premier League has ever seen. But if he sticks to his guns and doesn't learn from the mistakes that are being made, he could end up costing him a job. It really, really could. And I hope he does learn because I do like him. I think he's a great manager, articulate, intelligent, comes across really well. The players obviously respond to him well. But if these players aren't responding to you well, then time to get some new players. Thank you very much, Marcus. Yeah, it'd be really good if the channel does blow up, as you rightly say, mate. It's we have had a great start to our channel. We've only been doing this for a couple of years now, so to be close to 7,000 subs is amazing. And me and Mark never take that for granted. Thank you for all your great support, guys, in the comments as well. Yeah, you're right. And UFC Eds to see Anderson back is great. He didn't look like he missed a beat either, to be fair. I thought he was class. He's tough as well. He's tough and he's got quality. And I love that about him. I really, really do. Stephen's saying, be happy, man, we're in the next round. Absolutely. I'm happy, mate. I'm happy we're in the next round, but I can still say we were shite, which is what a lot of people are saying as well. Commentator kept saying we were playing in black and yellow. Was he blind? Or should he wear the Specsavers? Yeah, it's not black, it's blue in it. I did think that myself. Very weird, very weird. I was just pissed off we weren't playing in black and white, to be honest with you. I thought that was the normal kind of pitch that we, or normal time strip, we play against Blackburn in the past. But, what do I know, mate? They've got to get the money out of these bloody shirts as well, haven't they? Thank you very much, Andy, for that. Really appreciate that, mate. The quality, he says, big respect. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, we were good when we weren't good. I'm happy we're through the next round. Of course, I'm happy. Christ, if we got beaten and put out, I'd come on here apoplectic. I'm just kind of more resigned to the fact that we were shit, and then we got through still, which is good. But you got to remember, there's good teams in the FA Cup. If we come up against a good team in the next round, we could be out our arse. So I'm just saying, just don't get too overexcited by a mediocre shit performance like that. Be happy, yes, but don't get too excited. We've got Paul in the comments. Good to see you, Paul. Hi, everyone. That was a tough game, but we are in the draw for the next round. Get in. Yeah, it's fair play, mate. Yeah, nothing wrong with being excited about that, mate. Nothing wrong with being excited at all about getting through. But you can also be critical about the performance and the way the team's playing. As Ricky says there, the magic has gone. It'll never be the same. Let's hope we can shithouse a cup win. That would be great. Bring back the dark arts. Bring back the time waste. Maybe we're just waiting for Joe Litton and Nick Pope to come back before we go full on shithouse again. We've got a comment there from Harry saying, I still believe Eddie's the right man, even if we lost today. No, fair play, mate. And Eddie's got credit in the bank from what he did last season, and you can't knock him for that. He deserves that credit, but like I say, he's not infallible, and you can understand why other fans are criticising him. That is what football is all about. It's a division of opinions. You go to any football stadium in the world, and it doesn't matter if they're winning leagues or they're fighting relegation. Some people love a player, some people won't like a player, some people love a manager, some people won't like a manager. We're no different. Just because Eddie Howe managed to save us from the trapdoor doesn't mean we're different. We all have difference of opinions in terms of the manager and the players and everything else. And I think what we always say at Evermore, this is a safe place to express your opinion, no matter what it is. You don't get attacked here because that's not what we do. Some channels won't be negative about the manager or the players if they play crap. I think a lot more of the channels now are getting around to that because they understand that the performances have been poor, and if you're going to produce content, you can't just sit and say everything's amazing when it's not. So you just got to be quite honest with people. You do not be saying that he's perfect for England, certainly with the way England blow hot and cold, mate. Absolutely. But listen, it's a great way to end it, guys, in terms of we're through to the next round of the FA Cup. That is a win. That is a bonus. So that's something to be happy about. We've got Wolves coming at the weekend. That's not going to be an easy game, but take confidence from this. Hopefully get into that game against Wolves, put in a good performance, get the 3 points, get back to winning ways in the Premier League, and that will make us all kind of breathe a sigh of relief as well. But we'll be back through the week with match previews for Wolves, and obviously we will be back for for the post-match analysis as well for the Wolves game. So keep it evermore, guys. It's nearly midnight, so I'm knackered. You're knackered. Get yourselves to bed, or wherever you are in the world, get yourselves to work or whatever. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching us tonight. There's been 300 plus of you in the channel lives there, so smash the like button if you can as well. That's also really helps the channel grow and helps with the old algorithms, as Mark always says. He does all that stuff behind the back. I just do this in front of the microphone. But thank you so much, guys. Have a cracking evening or day, whatever you're doing. Well done, Newcastle United. Even though you were shite, you still got through. Bring on the next draw, and let's hope to Christ we'll get Coventry or something like that. Have a crack one, everyone. We'll see you later. Cheers.